Hello everyone and welcome to today's session on daily current affairs with Sathya sir. This is me Sathya from IQ Ideas and I bring you daily current affairs and news updates from a leading newspaper, interesting articles to improve your reading comprehension and of course words of vocabulary. Today is the 19th of August 2025 and it's been a long weekend, so we did not have a few episodes for the last 4 days. Without further ado, let's jump into the news headlines for today. As I open the paper to the first page with news, there is a small headline: Hectic Parlays as World Seeks Solution to Ukraine Conflict. Now, of course, the word parlay is a very interesting one. Parlay is a word which means talks, and fans of Pirates of the Caribbean would definitely have heard this word. I wish to parlay, right? Parlay. I wish to have a talk. So below the small headlines, hectic parlays as world seeks solution to Ukraine conflict, there are two big headlines. One is Trump virtually tells Kyiv to surrender. So that is a reference to US President Donald Trump telling Zelensky, the head of Ukraine, the capital of which is Kyiv, to surrender. So MAGA Supremo Donald Trump has bluntly told Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the White House meeting on Monday afternoon to give up territory his country has lost to Russia and forget about joining NATO, which are pretty strong words considering that Ukraine is actually considering joining NATO. On the other hand, just after the meet between US President Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin of Russia, we have the news that Putin briefs Modi on Alaska summit. Now that comes as not much of a surprise considering that Russia and India have been friends. President Putin dialed PM Modi on Monday to share his insights on his meeting with President Trump in Alaska that did not result in a Russia Ukraine ceasefire, but saw the two exploring the possibility of a comprehensive peace agreement. So, those are pretty interesting things happening on the Russia Ukraine front. Now, news from the country. We have more troubles with the special intensive revision of the Bihar electoral rolls happening before the upcoming polls. So the opposition parties have said they may move to impeach the CEC, the Chief Election Commission. So amidst the ongoing EC opposition clash, INDI bloc on Monday floated the possibility of moving for impeachment of the Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar, whom it accused of acting like a BJP spokesman and intimidating the opposition parties. It said the Election Commission is no longer capable of ensuring a level playing field and instead is led by officers who thwart any attempt at probing voter fraud. Pretty strong words, but let us see whether this actually has any teeth when it comes to the law. But intimidate is basically to threaten somebody. Impeach is a legal process to remove a person in power, usually used in connection with sitting presidents and judges. Uh, uh, the big news regarding the upcoming vice presidential elections in India was the nomination of CP Radhakrishnan. So the NDA-led bloc, basically the ruling party, had CP Radhakrishnan nominated from NDA to the vice president's post for the election. He's the candidate. And the opposition bloc will now announce its common candidate for the VP election on Tuesday after discussions on Monday. The names of a senior scientist from Tamil Nadu, Dalit intellectual, are being floated among the probables, but no final decision has been taken yet. So it is going to be a very interesting thing to see who gets nominated for the vice president's post as a candidate by the INDI bloc. Okay, so big news there. Moving ahead, the city page does not have much of nation relevant information. So we move on. The city page is pretty much it. The state page also does not seem to have much of information there. So we quickly move on to the nation page. So the nation page, the big headlines is of course Rajnath reaches out to DMK, TMC, and BJD for consensus on the VP nominee. So obviously, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh attempted on Monday to garner broader support for NDA Vice Presidential candidate CP Radhakrishnan, speaking to Tamil Nadu CM MK Stalin over the phone, former Odisha CM Naveen Patnaik of BJD, to seek their support for a consensus. So the important words, which is the word garner, which literally means to gather, and consensus is when everybody agrees to the same thing. That's a consensus. Okay. Below the same headline, we have DMK in a bind as TN parties pitch for son of the soil. So NDA's decision to field CP Radhakrishnan as its vice presidential candidate has put DMK in a political bind. To reject a candidate from Tamil Nadu could be portrayed as disregarding Tamil pride, a line rivals are expected to play up in the 2026 campaign. Yet, extending support to a BJP-backed nominee would go against DMK's long-standing political positioning against the center. So it's going to be a very, very interesting thing, a political game. And as we say, on either kuan udhar khai. So what exactly will the DMK do? Which candidate will they support? Okay. Other than that, we have in the sordid election revision affair, the SP produces affidavits of 2022, accuses CEC of lying brazenly. So the Samajwadi Party on Monday accused the CEC of lying brazenly that the party had not given any affidavit on the deletion of voters in Uttar Pradesh, even as Akhilesh Yadav alleged targeted deletion of backward and most backward class voters who backed SP at the behest of the governing party. Okay, so that seems to be brewing some sort of trouble for the election commission. Let's see how things pan out. The next nation page does not seem to have much, although there is one article which says intent to drive person to death must for abetment conviction. So this seems to be related to law, and I would recommend that law aspirants, especially those appearing for the common law admission test, should give this article a look. Let's see what it is. So a person cannot be accused of abetment of suicide if there is no conscious deliberate intention on their part to drive another person to suicidal death, no matter how harsh or severe the harassment they meted out. The Supreme Court said on Monday, while upholding the Bombay High Court's decision to quash the abetment of suicide case over death by suicide of former MP from Dadra and Nagar Haveli constituency Mohan Delkar. That seems to be something definitely following. We move on to my favorite, the middle page with opinion pieces and editorials. On top, we have a column by Partha Sinha, who is a senior advisory professional, titled Of Rains and Votes. Elections are never held during monsoon simply because netas have no place to hide when roads buckle, drains overflow, airports shut down. It's a moment of truth and reality bites. So, although that seems to be a little bit of a humorous headline, there seems to be a modicum of truth behind that statement. So, do read that article, it should be interesting. Below that, we have a column by Rohin Bhatt, who is an advocate of the Supreme Court, A Tale of Two Acquittals. Now, I have repeatedly used this word with my students. In a case, if there is a guilty verdict, it's a conviction, but the not guilty verdict, is an acquittal. So, recent judgments in the 7/11 and Malegaon terror cases show similarities as well as dichotomy. These suggest how law has become weaponized for political expediency. So that seems to be a little bit of a strong and rather pointed view, acerbic view regarding the two cases. So definitely law aspirants would do well to read this particular article as well. Okay, coming to the three on the left, we have Get It Right. Vital that GST reform is designed in a way that spurs spending economy needs it. This is in reference to the news which came in the last couple of days regarding the revision of the GST tax brackets. Below that, related to Trump, we have the column Quietly Does It. India's best response to Trump's daddy diplomacy is to keep back channels open. And then, of course, we have the humor column by Anil Abraham. Family war zone, talks end in no ceasefire, no peace agreement. All right. We have a special half uh, with something related to defense when one MiG beat four US fighter jets. In exactly a month, the MiG 21 will make its final touchdown in Chandigarh after 6 decades of service in IAF. The pilots who have flown it and known it inside out say this legend will forever stay in their hearts. So, a few days back, we had a lot of news regarding the retiring of the legendary MiG 21 fighters. So, this is a column devoted to that. Below that, in Nation page, we have a small column devoted to the Prime Minister embracing Shuks. That would be Sudhanshu Shukla, who became India's second person to be in space. He was aboard the Axiom 4, went to the International Space Station. Okay. Then we have a page of the Nation with not much relevant information. The business page does have an article, prices of ACs, larger TVs and dishwashers set to dip 8%. This is because of the proposed GST, the goods and services tax rate cut. Okay, related to the GST, it could also mean small cars and two-wheeler companies will see a rise in their stock prices because the GST rate cuts can see a significant cut in the retail prices of products of small car and two-wheeler companies, boosting sales during the crucial Diwali period. So that is very, very interesting. Okay, as we move on, we come to the global page with a lot of news space devoted to the Russia-Ukraine conflict and talks between Trump and Zelensky, Trump and Putin, Putin and Modi. There is this article which says Zelensky meets Trump for key talks to end Ukraine war. So that is some more information on the thing which happened between them. Just below that, Russian drone attacks kill 14 in Ukraine. Sad. Okay. We have an article, Hamas OK's proposed deal for 60 days ceasefire with Israel. Okay. Myanmar to hold long-awaited polls in phases from December 28. Hijacked satellites orbiting space weapons. Space is the new battlefield. So many interesting things there. On the sports page, with no major event happening, I guess, this is just an opinion piece about selection for the T20 international cricket matches. And the last page devoted to sports in half. And the bottom half is about rain disrupting traffic in Mumbai. So that's pretty much it, the news for today. The biggest things, of course, three things. One is the ongoing event updates regarding the Russia-Ukraine conflict when it comes to talks between national leaders. Second is, of course, the brouhaha over the special intensive revision happening ahead of the Bihar elections and the vice presidential elections, which are to happen in September, with the NDA already announcing their candidate and the announcement of the IND block candidate to come up within a day, I guess. So that's it for today. If you have liked this, do hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Leave your comments below. This is me, Sathya.